Hi guys, this is Hero, and today I'm going to be going over kind of at a basic level the truth about the chakras and Kundalini in general, okay? I'm going to need more videos to explain this topic more and more into detail in certain aspects of it, but I'm just covering the general branch of this topic, okay? To start off, as I'm going to reference this video in other future videos when I'm talking about other topics, but I'll connect it back to the chakras and Kundalini, as this is a very important topic, okay? So, as we know, there are 7 chakras, okay? Main chakras, okay? Arguably 6. Why do some people say arguably 6? Well, if let's just say I'm taking a bus and there's 6 stops and the destination is the 7th stop, are you considering the destination a stop? Or are you considering it not a stop? Okay, that's why some people consider the crown chakra an actual chakra, or some people just consider it just a destination. Once the Kundalini has reached the top chakra, you've merged with higher consciousness, and you're enlightened. You've achieved moksha, etc. Okay, so let's talk about the first 6, okay? I just kind of briefly just talked about this one, okay, the top one. So the first 6, so you have the 3 at the lower ones, you can say. These I'm going to refer to as the lower self. And then you have 3 higher ones, okay? These I'm going to refer to as the higher self. So we start at the bottom, okay, your lower self. You have the first chakra, which is your earth chakra. Then you have your water chakra. Then you have your fire chakra, okay? That's your lower self. Then as you move up, you have your air chakra, you have your space chakra, and then you have your third eye, okay? These are your higher self. Now, what does each one of these mean? Well, if we start at the bottom, the earth chakra, you actually, side note, you could connect the first 5 chakras to the 5 koshas, okay? From the most physical to as the bottom one, and as you go deeper and deeper into the koshas, you go up the chakras, okay? I might make a connection with that in future videos also. But the earth chakra has a lot to do with the physical, okay? So the reason why it's called your lower self is because you're living more in the material world, okay? So at the base of the material world is everything physical, okay? That's why it's your earth chakra. It's everything that revolves around your physical body, okay? Which includes physical senses and senses enjoyment, stuff like that, okay? So that's kind of like the primary base of this material illusion. Then we go up 1 chakra to the water chakra, okay? And that kind of has to do with, and especially if you look at it as a connection to the koshas, water has a lot to do with what? Emotions. So it has a lot to do with emotions as well as kind of the energetic element of this material illusion, okay? So emotions could also mean, like I said, emotional enjoyment, okay? So we started off as just physical, and then we go to emotional kind of experience, okay? Then we move up to the fire chakra, okay? Which is the last part of your lower self. This has to do with the mental, okay? So the mental part of this material illusion, okay? So if you're living here, you could be focused more on like the mental part of this, like oh, what kind of car is this person driving? Is it a Mercedes? Is it a Beamer? What is it? Okay. Now I'm gonna do a recap on this lower self. So if you're living all the way at the bottom, you're more living based off of physical experience. Water chakra, you're more living based off of emotional experience. Fire chakra means you're basically living based off of mental experience, okay? All these are all lower self, and you can kind of see why if you're a little bit spiritually inclined, okay? Now, moving up until your higher self, air. Your air chakra is kind of where you realize that everything is kind of made up, everything and everyone is kind of made up of higher consciousness, okay? So you kind of start to see the spiritual element of this world, okay? That this person, they're not just defined by, oh, how much money they have, how good looking they have. They're made out of higher consciousness. And, oh, this person, even if they're not the most best looking or have the most money or whatever, they're also made out of higher consciousness. So at the air chakra, the fourth chakra, you start to realize this. At the fifth chakra space, you start to see that everything is just higher consciousness. Okay, the fourth, you start to see, okay, everyone has this higher consciousness and soul energy in them. At the fifth, you realize that's all they are. Okay, everything else is literally just an illusion. Okay, I hope you guys kind of saw that difference. And then at the third eye, we know this is basically, this doesn't have an element attached to it. Okay, this is kind of where we just see everything literally for what it is. And then I told you at the crown chakra, it merges. Okay, this was kind of everything at a very, very, very general glance. Okay, if you haven't looked into this topic at all, this, if you recognize this will help you just kind of get the ball rolling, your foundation in the right direction. Okay, now some stuff to clear up. One, these are the 7 main chakras. However, you have many, many, many other chakras throughout your whole body. Okay, these are just kind of, you can say, the 7 like most hyped up. Okay, or not most hyped up, but most, I wouldn't say most important, but I wouldn't say most hyped up either. Okay, somewhere in between that. There's a subtle word I'm looking for that I can't quite find the right word for it right now. But once you guys advance yourself spiritually, you guys will see what I'm saying. Okay, you have energetic points all throughout your body. Okay, it's not just these 7, but these 7 are very crucial. Okay. Now, another thing. Your Kundalini, it raises through these chakras, but it's not like an overnight thing. Okay, and I've seen a lot of misinformation on this online where it's like, oh, I did this Kundalini raising yoga or meditation and my Kundalini was, I felt my Kundalini raise. Okay, there is no way that you just did a 15-minute yoga or meditation class and your Kundalini just exploded through and that's that. Okay, when your Kundalini finally merges here, you are fully enlightened, merged with God, whatever. Okay, it takes years of strict meditation and practice to get to this point. It may be even lifetimes. Okay, probably even lifetimes. Okay, it's not an overnight. There's no way you just did it in one 15-minute meditation class or something. Okay, and if somebody's trying to sell you this or something, they are misleading you very, very heavily. Okay, now you might be wondering, so like I said, the Kundalini, it goes up, okay, slowly. But now you might be wondering, well, I felt energy in these parts of my body and my Kundalini might not be all the way raised yet. Well, that's true. That's because these chakras are always functioning, right? And there's always energy flowing through them. And it could be very powerful also. But like your actual Kundalini being raised, when your Kundalini raises, that means you've mastered that area of spiritual pursuit. Okay, so like if you moved on past the physical, that means like you nothing physical appeals you anymore. Okay, and I don't think a lot of people can say that. Okay, that means food, any sort of sensory pleasure. Okay, if you can genuinely say you've moved past all of that, fine, I'll give it to you. And then water, that means you've disconnected from everything emotionally and energetically in this material illusion. If you can say that, then fine. Same thing with you get the point. As you move up the fire chakra, you've disconnected from everything. Okay, fine. As you move up the chakras, that's kind of how your Kundalini raises. But like I said, there's always energy that's flowing throughout your whole body and throughout the chakras as well. Okay, they're always active. Okay, and as your spiritual awareness and intuition increases, you'll start to notice your spiritual and energetic kind of powerhouses in your body. Okay, like for example, the chakras, your third eye especially. Okay, you'll notice these more, but and you'll notice a connection between them as well. But like I said, your actual Kundalini kind of rising up, that means when it only rises up when you're slowly leaving this material illusion behind. Okay, and you can't fully say that unless you're unless you've actually kind of detached from a lot of this stuff. Okay, for example, when you reach your fourth chakra, that means you move past your lower three, which is your lower self. That means you pretty much should have zero ego at this point. Now, I mean, you can say that, but about yourself, but whether that's actually true or not is up to you. Okay. Yeah, so I just wanted to make this video on the lower self versus the higher self. That's basically the main reason why I wanted to give this, and also just to kind of say you have other energetic points also throughout your whole body. Okay, I'll make other videos on yoga going forward on kind of discovering this, but I want to cover the lower self especially because I'm gonna reference this in a lot of videos going forward. Okay. Your bottom one has a lot to do with the most physical parts of this material experience, okay? Your earth chakra, okay? Earth is it's physical in itself. Your water has a lot to do with the emotional or energetic part of this material illusion world experience, whatever you want to call it. And your fire has a lot to do with like the mental part of this material illusion world experience, okay? And then, like I said, that's your lower self. As you move up your air chakra, you realize, okay, everything has higher consciousness in it. Your fifth chakra of space, you realize everything is literally just higher consciousness and nothing. And then your third eye is kind of, you see everything for the way it is, okay? And that's that. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to discuss here. As far as your Kundalini, like when you know it will be raised, like I said, man, it takes a lot of practice and meditation to get it to rise, okay, properly. Okay, like I said, you could feel energetic awareness and connection kind of flowing through these spots and that kind of fluctuate. But like I said, that could just be, your awareness kind of kicking in and out at certain points, or, the flow kind of going through as there's always an energetic and spiritual current going through your body. Okay. But as far as that Kundalini raising, like I said, you just have to know for yourself. You just have to be very honest with yourself. Like, have I really moved past the earth chakra? Have I really moved past the water chakra? Have I really moved past the fire chakra? If you haven't, then probably the answer is no. And then also, if you see anybody else that claims that they've moved past all this stuff and they have certain elements of this that you recognize within them, then that should tell you a lot about their character and how accurate their claims are as well. Okay. And like I said, anybody that touches on these chakras and doesn't should also notice that there are many hundreds of other energetic points throughout your body. Okay, one of my favorite ones is the bottom of our feet. Okay, or our hands. Okay, in my opinion, I've gained a lot of spiritual intuition and stuff like that just from the bottom of my feet. Like, for example, grounding, walking on the grass, or just from my hands. Okay, like many things we can do to gain awareness and intuition through the other areas of our our body as well. Okay, but like I said, these are the 7 as the ancient Hindu sages have said. They if you can read the old scriptures if you want. Also, they mentioned very clearly that there's other currents and energetic points we have in our body also. Okay, but just these are important, and just the way the Western world and the Western culture influences spirituality these days, it likes to hype up certain stuff, right? Like, for example, if you look at Western astrology, they almost only look at the sun sign, okay? While the Hindu Vedic astrology, yeah, it puts a very high emphasis on the moon, but it looks at everything more relatively than Western astrology, which only really looks at, oh, what's your sign? What's your sun sign, basically? That's what they're saying. So same thing that goes here. When it comes to like chakras and stuff like that, yeah, they tend to put only emphasis on these 7, okay? But we have many other energetic currents throughout our body, okay? And then, like I said, the way the Western culture works is that there's a lot of misinformation, okay? And what I'll say there is, like I said, you could feel awareness in the connection between all the chakras and stuff, but for you to actually fully claim that they're all active and you've risen through all of them, like I said, have you left all the material illusion behind? And do you view everything as exactly the way it is, as all higher consciousness and all that kind of stuff? So these are questions that we can only ask ourselves, okay? But like I said, for the most part, the changes we make within ourselves will affect everyone else as well, okay? So if we take in this knowledge within ourselves and incorporate it, others will naturally slowly get affected by our vibration and hopefully follow the same path, okay? So that's it for this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, as usual, let me know. And until next time, talk to you guys later. Thank you.